In today's pick a card reading, we're looking at what Spirit needs you to know right now. We have 3 piles, 1, 2, and 3. You might feel called just to a single pile, or you might find yourself drawn to more than one, or even all 3. Trust your intuition and watch the ones you're pulled towards, because each one might contain a message for you. As always, the links are down below, and I'll see you in the readings. Welcome to the reading for pile 1. This is the 4 of Pentacles, and the messages that are coming through for this pile are all about money and any blocks you have to it and how to clear them up. So, let's grab our first deck. The first thing that we want to know, we're going to grab 3 cards that tell us what Spirit is really pleased, because you are on the right path. So, what do they want to point out so that you know that you're on the right path? So we're going to have 3 cards for that. Okay, so the first one we have is the 4 of Swords reversed. And what's coming through and what this is saying to me is Spirit is acknowledging you for sitting down and doing that work of controlling your mind. They've noticed that you're doing it. They've noticed how you are calming your mind and your thoughts and clearing stuff out and doing the meditations and things. And they just want to acknowledge you for doing that. And the next one is the 2 of Pentacles. And what I'm getting for this is that Spirit wants to acknowledge you for your ability to play and to keep things entertaining and in motion, no matter what's going on in the background. You're always focused on keeping everything like going and things, and just enjoying yourself while you're doing it. There could be sort of, rough seas back here, whatever it is, you're still carrying on and you're managing to keep everything afloat and taking care of everything. You're not sort of dropping your spiritual growth because something is hard or you're busy or anything like that. And they just want to acknowledge the fact that you've been doing that and let you know that they're seeing it. So lastly, we have the 8 of Wands reversed. And what this is saying to me is they are acknowledging, again, your focus. This is all coming to a point. And they are acknowledging how focused you are on getting to the next level, getting through what's currently going on, knowing what's sort of coming on the other side. And they are really acknowledging this absolute pinpoint focus that you have through this and saying that that is what's going to get you to where you want to go. So they are really, really happy with everything. And this is why the message is coming through that you are on the right path. There is just one little thing that they want you to know, and that's what we're going to be looking at with the next deck. So, this one, we're going to get 3 cards again, and this is going to be the overall message that Spirit wants you to know. Even though you're on the right path and you're doing incredibly well, what do they want you to know still? So 3 cards. What Spirit wants you to know. Okay, so the messages from Spirit that are to do with money. So we have the Two of Pentacles reversed, and I think that's interesting given that we've got the Two of Pentacles there. So what I'm getting from this is Spirit wants you to be more aware of the money, as in not just how much, but what you're going to do with it and how you need to change internally to pull it in, because this is saying that you are right now a little stuck and very much more in the lack mentality than the abundant mentality. And this wants you to get more into the abundant mentality. So this is about focusing on that abundance in every twist and turn in your life. What has shown you how abundant you are and that you can then be grateful for, no matter what's going on in the background and so on. So have a look at what you have in the way of beliefs around money, because this is what this is saying. It wants you to really examine those, get deep on that abundance track and find out what it is that you need to release to get you out of this lack mentality. And one of the things that will help you do that, we have the Sun. And what it's saying is be in the moment, really live your life, moment to moment, just be in the now and enjoy everything and get outside and enjoy nature and realize that just abundance is everywhere, literally everywhere in your environment. All you have to do is be open to receiving it. Like the rays of the sun, it's just coming down and shining on you. So this is one of the things that they want you to know to get out of this lack, is just be in the moment and be open to having this abundance just flow into your life. And they're also saying we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So they're also saying that, yes, you may have gone through some bad times, but remember you've also been through some good times as well. This has a habit of flipping upwards and downwards. It's a wheel, okay? So everything comes in ebbs and flows. It is just the way life is. So work on remembering what you enjoyed like this in your life to do with abundance, and on the bits that you currently see as lack and struggle, how can you work out what you need to learn from it so that you can flip it up the other way and get the lesson out of it, almost get what you need out of it to see it as a positive, so that this is more upright more often. So this is the kind of message that you are right now. You have a bit of a lack mentality, and they want you to work on that by getting into the flow and just allowing this abundance to come in. And one of the ways you can do that is acknowledge all the times you've had abundance, not just financial abundance, any abundance. And when you have thought about the fact, that you're in struggle or whatever, when you've experienced that, then think about what you can learn from that you can turn it into a positive experience. So that's the message going through. Let's grab another deck and let's have a look for some specific beliefs that you have that are keeping you in this lack, because then you'll know more exactly what to work on, which I think would be helpful. So let's have 3 more cards, and let's make them all beliefs you have that are keeping you in this lack state, that if you release, you'll be able to get more into this, that nice sort of flow of abundance and things. So And 3. So we have the Knight of Cups reversed. And what this is saying to me is you have a belief that you can't be good and wealthy, that money is evil, that if you are coming from love, there's no way that you would be wealthy, all those kind of beliefs. So it's around sort of a love of money and that turning you to the dark side. And one thing that you probably need to know with this belief is you will never make yourself somebody who you see as bad. And if you see people with money as not being good, not being loving, and so on, then you will repel that money to make sure that you don't see yourself as bad. So this is why this belief is so important, and you need to reverse it, basically. You need to see money as just energy, just a tool. It's totally your intention behind what happens with it. You can use money for good. All those kind of beliefs need to replace these beliefs of how money is evil, basically. So the next one we have is Judgment reversed. And what I'm getting for this is you have a belief that I've seen very often. You know, you spend it now, you can't take it with you. And I see a lot of people doing that, and it didn't really occur to me this might be blocking money, but with what's coming through, it kind of makes sense. Basically, you can set up stuff with this amount of money that's going to be coming in. You can set up your legacies. You can keep this going for a very, very long time. So it's not about spend it now because you can't take it with you. It's about how can you grow it and how can you keep it growing and expanding even more, like on a daily basis. How can you change this and have it literally just change the world because of what you're doing with this money? How can it grow that abundance into other people, into the planet, into animals, whatever you are wanting to do with your money? How can you use it to create this legacy with it rather than just spending it because you can't take it with you? And the next one we have is the Wheel of Fortune reversed, which I thought was interesting since we had the Wheel of Fortune reversed just above it. This to me means that your belief around money coming to you is what I would call an away from motivation, as in you're moving away from being lack, poor, stuck, whatever it is, struggling, however you define where you are. You're moving away from that, which is why this is reversed. And when you do that, you move away from it until that motivation is no longer felt, and then you fall back and you lose it again so that you can feel the motivation again. So there's a belief in there somewhere of easy come, easy go. Because I got this quickly doesn't mean it's going to last. I was given all this, I'm not sure I deserve it, so it'll probably go away. Other people need this more than I do, I better give it all away. Those kinds of beliefs are going to make the money come and go. So you need to look into these kind of beliefs and turn it again up the other way, much like these other two, because that will help the money come in, and then it will help you keep it so that you can create this legacy rather than just getting rid of it all quickly. So look deep into those beliefs that make it so that money will disappear just as quickly as it came in. So let's have a look. One last deck. And let's just get one final card on this one. And let's get some further advice from Spirit about this message and these beliefs, and what you can do to move forwards. And for this, we have the Knight of Wands. And what I'm getting from this is you have to take action if you want to get out of this lack and stay out of the lack, as in clear these beliefs. You actually have to take some pretty big action and do these changes of these beliefs so that you firstly can attract it, secondly can keep it, and thirdly can grow it into something that will change not only your world but other people around you and anyone you come into contact with, and it will benefit humanity as a whole, not just, oh, I bought a new car kind of thing. So it's a case of changing these beliefs. This is this advice. Take action, because wands are really big action. And we have a knight here, so it's a very high up in the suit. So really take some big action on changing these beliefs. Ferret them out. Look inside yourself and ferret them out and find out what exactly these beliefs are that for you. They will be in these buckets, but they might have sort of multiple different ones within each bucket. Work out what they are, change them, and that is when you will change this and fulfill this message here of getting to grips with your finances and changing your money situation, your money sort of world, whatever, keep you in the moment and help you swap things around. So it's all about taking this action and changing these three beliefs, or three buckets of beliefs. Drop a like, subscribe and comment if this resonated. I could really use your help growing this channel because I'm very new and very small, and I would love to grow more to get this out there. If you would like a private reading, there is a link in the description that you can book a session with me one-on-one, and we can go through and ferret out these exact beliefs for you. I'm Karen from Soul Driven Tarot, and I'll see you in the next pile or the next video. Welcome to the reading for pile 2, and for this we have the 8 of Pentacles. And what this is saying to me is the messages that you're here to hear and find out what Spirit needs you to know, despite the fact that you're on the right path and doing really well, is around work, responsibility, repeating patterns, all those kind of things. So let's get started and have a look. The first thing we are going to do is we're going to grab 3 cards that Spirit wants to acknowledge you for, because you are on the right path, you are doing really well. So what does Spirit want you to know that, it's been noticed that you've been doing, and they just want to acknowledge it. Okay, so for this, we have the 4 of Wands reversed. So what this is saying to me and what's coming through is Spirit wants to acknowledge you for that sense of inner joy, inner bliss, and the fact that you sort of can find joy and and happiness wherever you go, whatever you're doing, whatever's going on. And they just want to acknowledge you for that energy that you have around that, because that is going to help you in every aspect of your life. We also have judgment. And the message I'm getting through from this is they want to acknowledge the fact that you don't judge yourself anymore or others. You are letting people just live their life instead of gossiping, talking bad about anyone, anything like that, any aspect of judgment. And they want to acknowledge the fact that you've let this go. And you've kind of sort of just drawn a line and said, that's it, no more, I am, no longer doing that. And you've stuck with it. And they just want to acknowledge that. And the last one we have is the Fool reversed. And what this is saying to me, and again, what's coming through message-wise, is that they want to acknowledge that you've gone much more internal and much more connected with your higher self, and you are following the guidance of your higher self. Whatever it's saying to do, you're not listening to this ego mind anymore. You are just following what your higher self, your spirit, your soul is telling you is the next step, and you are just following it. So they really want to acknowledge the fact that you've made this. It's a big leap, a big path that you've done, and this progress, and just acknowledge the fact that you've got there. And they just have a little bit more of a message for you as to what's the next step that's coming in. So we're going to grab another deck. And for this, we're going to get 3 cards and just ask what the message is. Even though you're on the right path, you're doing really well, what is the message that they still want you to hear? And it'll be around this kind of thing, the work, the responsibility, the repeating loops, that kind of thing. So 3 cards, what is the message? Okay, so we have the 2 of Cups. So what this is saying is it's like a mirror. Your external reality mirrors your internal reality. So what it's saying is make sure you take care of that one side to see the reflections. All the people you meet, all the results you get, everything in your reality is going to be a mirror of you. And so anytime around you've got a loop, a trouble with, sort of taking responsibility for something, or trouble with working or getting going or finishing something or getting started on something, whatever it is for you, remember that this is a mirror. And so any results you are seeing with these struggles are going to be because of something internally in you, a belief of some kind around whatever this topic is for you. And so this is how you can tell partly whether you've got it. So Spirit is saying, watch into your reality, into the people that you meet, the experiences you have, and see what isn't exactly what you prefer it to be, because that is where you've got stuff internally going on that probably needs a little work and change to get you to where you want to get to. And the next part of the message is the 4 of Cups reversed. And this is saying, and this goes quite well with this one, remember to listen to that little inner voice. So not only just look at the external circumstances, but listen to your higher self. Don't just sort of ignore it and see the circumstances and think, well, it's not my fault, because that plays back into this. Listen to this voice that will prompt you to look for the right thing in the external environment so you can work out what it is that you need to change. And lastly, we have the Page of Pentacles. And this is saying you do look up to like the physical side of things. You look up to money, you look up to health, education, all the sort of like the physical aspects of life. You look up to that. And this is tying back again to this, saying you look up to it, you want the best, then look where your results are, because if that's not what you're getting, there's something internal that needs changing. But this is guiding you to what you prefer, basically, and then listen to that voice and then see where your external reality doesn't tie up with it, so that you can work out what's going on, what this issue is. So let's grab another deck, and this time we're going to look for 3 beliefs or buckets of beliefs, 3 beliefs that you are holding around work in some way, shape or form, that this message ties into, so that you aren't serving you, basically. So what 3 beliefs do we have around work, responsibility, that kind of thing? Even money, since it's a Pentacles. So we have the Page of Swords reversed. So what this first belief or bucket of beliefs is telling me, it is something to do with following your word. So if you say you're going to do something, somehow you have a belief that is stopping you from following through, or you too readily say that you are going to do something knowing you're not going to. So if you don't have the intention of doing it, and it could be the correct intention, it could be that your higher self says, no, you shouldn't be doing this. Make sure your word matches that, as in you don't go, yeah, okay, I'll do that, when you don't want to, because that's not where your higher self is telling you to go and do. Okay, so it's around your word matching your actions. So have a look for beliefs around sticking to your word, being even just polite and agreeing, because we've got like beliefs around being a good girl and saying, yes, you have to do, what you're asked and so on. All those kind of beliefs that put your word out of alignment from where your higher self wants to take you, and therefore the actions that you're going to take. The second one we have is the Knight of Wands reversed. And what I'm getting for this is beliefs around how money only comes with hard work. You can't follow your passion and make money. You can't live off of your passions. They're not going to bring you abundance. They're not going to bring you, what you need, and so they're not going to support you. those kinds of beliefs are what we're seeing here. This is sort of the bucket around your work, your passions, and getting the financial aspect from that. So have a look around those kind of beliefs that you need to release, because this is what's stopping you from doing what you came here to do and supporting yourself doing it, which is not obviously what you want. You want to be doing what you came here to do and what you're passionate about and getting supported in return from it. So these are the beliefs that are stopping you doing that. And that is part of what this is and what Spirit is wanting you to work on. And the last one we have is the Star reversed. And what I'm getting from this is it is beliefs around not knowing what you're doing, so therefore you can't start working on it. You have to know that you have access internally to all knowledge. All you've got to do is ask, and ask the question of your guides, your higher self, and you'll get that knowledge. So it's never a case of you can't work on something because you don't know how. Once you start asking for the how, it will come through. Okay? So start looking at beliefs that stop you from starting things. Beliefs around not having the knowledge, not having the qualifications, not being old enough, not being young enough, not being, the right gender, the right colour hair, whatever it is. Anything that is a belief around why you can't succeed with what work you are doing, that needs to be cleared up for you to clear up the issue that Spirit wants to tell you about. So start looking into those 3 buckets of beliefs: your voice, your passion supporting you, and the knowledge and being in the right place to actually just start doing it. And, get releasing them, because that's what's going to take you to the next stage. So let's pull one final deck. And let's just have one card, and we are going to get further advice from Spirit around this. Now that you know what these beliefs are that Spirit wants you to release, and what sort of the messages were, what's the further advice? Just one card. And for this we have the 9 of Pentacles. And what this is saying to me, the further advice is, if you can get rid of these 3 beliefs that are holding you back, you are going to find yourself in so much abundance and joy and luxury that it's just going to be, your entire life is going to change, basically. You are moving into massive wealth with everything that you want, and all you've got to do is release these limiting beliefs around money. That's it. You are that close. That's why they're saying that you're on the right path, and they're, acknowledging everything that you've done. These are the beliefs that you need to let go of, and this is going to be the result of letting go of them. Just abundance everywhere, and you will notice it, instead of abundance everywhere and you not noticing it or pushing it away, as these beliefs will do to you. So they're basically saying, release these beliefs and this will be your result. Drop a like, subscribe and comment if this resonated. I would seriously love your help growing this channel. I'm small and new and would really love to get this out there. If you'd like a personal reading, there is a link in the description below, and we can go through these and work out exactly which beliefs you have and work on releasing them. I'm Karen from Soul Driven Tarot, and I'll see you in the next pile or the next video. Welcome to the reading for pile 3, and for this one we have the Fool. And what this is saying is the messages that Spirit wants you to know about come around following your higher self, your passions, your being in the moment, being free, trusting, and just taking a leap of faith, basically. So let us grab a deck, and we're going to grab three cards, because Spirit has said that you are on the right path. There's just one message that they want you to know. So they want to acknowledge you for how far you've come and where you are right now. And so we're going to have 3 cards that look at what they're acknowledging you for, so that you can see just how well you're doing and realize that, you know, your guides and everyone have seen the results and seen the change that all this work that you've been doing has created. Okay, so we have the Tower reversed. And what I'm getting from that is that they want to acknowledge your ability that no matter what chaos is going on around you, you are still dancing and having fun. Because these guys look like they're dancing to me. They really look like they are having sort of almost like synchronized dancing, and they're just, you know, having a laugh, despite the fact that, you know, the world is falling apart behind them. So this is one thing Spirit wants to acknowledge you for, is your sense of fun and freedom and just enjoying life no matter what's going on, which is interesting given that this is what they said this message is about. So there must be an aspect of this still in there that they want to tell you about. But on the whole, you're doing really well in this area. The next one we have is the 6 of Pentacles. And what this is saying to me is they want to acknowledge just how generous you are, how much you help other people, how willing you are to keep yourself in balance by giving and receiving. It's not just about just giving away, but it's also, you know, sort of receiving. So you have to receive to give and give to receive and so on. And they're acknowledging that you're doing that, and you've seen that flow of the abundance sort of coming in, flowing out, flowing in, flowing out. And it's just continuous. It's not something that is stuck and you arrive and then you sit on it. You keep this flow of abundance going, and they want to acknowledge that. And then the next one we have is the 8 of Swords. And this is saying that they want to acknowledge how far you've come. You started this journey with a load of limiting fear-based beliefs, whatever you want to call them, and you were really stuck. And you can now look back on that and see just how far you've come. You've taken the blindfold off, you've taken the sort of, you know, the ties that were binding you down off, and you've got your thoughts in order, and you're now looking at this going, wow, look at, you know, how far you've come. Because you have come an incredibly long way, and they really want to acknowledge you for that with all the work, and make sure that you're acknowledging yourself over that. So let's grab another deck. And this is going to be around the message that they want you to hear, that is around this taking a leap and being in the moment. So what is the message that Spirit wants you to hear around this? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we have the 10 of Cups. And this is saying keep going the way you are with this living in the moment and being okay no matter what's going on around you, because this will lead to utter pure bliss, happiness, joy, everything feeling perfect kind of thing. This is one of the happiest cards in the deck, if not the happiest. And this is what this is going to lead to, which is why they are acknowledging how good you are at carrying on and having fun despite what's going on. So they want you to keep going on that same path so that you get to this. And when you get to this, take the time to look up and see it, acknowledge it. You know, there is this happiness that you've gone to. It's not just, oh, I achieved it next. Spend some time absorbing it and really enjoying it and noticing where you are and noticing where you've got to. Like you've noticed that you've changed a lot, make sure you notice how much happier you are too. Okay? And then we have the 9 of Swords. And what this is saying is when you get nightmares, because occasionally, we will wake up in the middle of the night with a nightmare, don't just ignore them, bury your head in the sand and pretend they don't exist. Dig into them. Find out what beliefs are coming up that are causing, your higher self to tell you about it, and they're telling you about it through a nightmare. So really dig in. When you see something you don't like, dig in to work out why, what beliefs, definitions and everything created it, and what is it about it that is keeping you out of this flow. And the next one we have is the Knight of Pentacles. And what this is saying to me is you're pretty good at being in the flow, which is obviously why they are acknowledging it and so on. But don't get stuck, straight, rigid, anything like that around money, because that will take you obviously out of the flow, this rigidity and this stuckness. So there's something to do with money that you need to look at, that you are not quite as much in the flow as you could be. And maybe that has to do with these nightmares. I don't know. Each person, listening to this is going to be different. But if your nightmares are to do with money, this is why it is stuck, is there are beliefs in there that are keeping this rigidity around money. So let's grab another deck and let's have a look at 3 beliefs or 3 buckets of beliefs that you need. Your spirit, is here to tell you this is what you need to look at. These beliefs are not helping you. They are keeping you stuck. They're what's causing these nightmares and so on. And maybe keeping you out of flow in an aspect of your life. So we want 3 beliefs. So the first belief we have is the Hangman. And what this is saying to me is, yes, you have to focus on your spiritual growth. We all need to do that. And you have to listen to your higher self and stay in the flow. But don't think that just because you are spiritual means that you can't express things freely. You're not tied down to a specific way of acting. If you respond to something in even anger, whatever it is, just doing it naturally in the moment. So not hanging on to it, but doing it naturally in the moment, expressing that emotion, whatever it is, and then moving on. That is okay. And from what I'm getting, you have a belief that that's not okay. So you're thinking that once you reach, sort of 5D or, wherever you're going, that you have to be good. And that is not true. It's not about being good. It's about being authentic. So release that, anything that keeps you away from being authentically you every single moment. And that is the beliefs that you need to look into around this. So the next one we have is temperance reversed. And what I'm getting for this is you have a belief around how you can't do lots of different things. This is all about sort of staying in balance while, sort of touching the water, touching the land, being in the air, and so on, doing lots of different things. And you don't think that you can do, not so much multitasking the way that the modern world thinks of multitasking, but having multiple passions, having multiple things, sort of aspects of your life, and you don't believe at the moment that they can all balance and you can still be in the flow, but they can. So you need to look into beliefs that are keeping you out of this balance of, it doesn't matter if I'm jumping from thing to thing, as long as I am following my flow and following what my higher self is telling me and my passions, I am in balance. Even if I spend 1 week doing this, 2 weeks doing this, 2 days doing this, an hour doing this, and then I'm back for this for 7 months, and then it doesn't matter. You can have balance by having multiple different things. All you have to do is follow the advice from your higher self and stay in that flow, to stay in that balance. So look for any beliefs around there that are keeping you out of that balance, that are, making you feel guilty for switching careers multiple times, switching friends, switching relationships, not sticking to a spiritual growth program that you've got, anything like that, where you feel you've done a bit and then changed, and then that's a bad thing, and so you force yourself to carry on with it when it's not the right thing. Those are the beliefs that you need to look into, that Spirit is saying they're in there, and they're what's keeping you out of flow all the time. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. And this again will be money beliefs here. And it's saying that you have a belief that luxury is not good. It's like indulgence, not joy. Money is evil, money is bad, money will pull you down. Anything that you've got in the way of a belief around, rich people being horrible or bad, or, whatever it is, those kinds of money beliefs around money being not good and luxury being, sort of a waste of time, or you don't deserve it, or anything like that, those beliefs are also holding you stuck, much like this said, the money beliefs and this rigidity. Be less rigid around your beliefs around money, because once you loosen that up, which is weird because you've got this abundance flow, but maybe this abundance is not always financial abundance. Maybe you've got this flow in the way of ideas. You are really good at flowing out with ideas and then flowing in with other ones. Or you're good at trading, and you can swap this with one person and then that will come into your life because you've swapped it with something else, and so on. But the actual money side of things is a little rigid still. And it's because of these beliefs. So you really need to dig into these beliefs around what you think money is, what it makes you, what other people who have money are like, because you're saying to yourself then, if you have money, that's what you'll be like, which is why it's pushing you away from money and keeping you very rigid in that area. So let us have one final deck, and we are going to get just one card and get some further advice from Spirit around this whole thing. Okay, and for this we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So what this is saying to me is you're very good at going in the flow and very good at keeping, sort of happy when things are chaotic. But we want this to turn around, because this is a flow. There is ebbs and flows in life. It's the way, sort of things work. You have more than you have less, and you have more than you have less, and of anything, whatever it is. And at the moment, this is stuck, and I suspect it has to do with this. You are stuck in the downward side of things, and Spirit wants you to get these beliefs that are holding you back to flip, so that you can start experiencing what you prefer instead of what you don't prefer. So basically the final advice is work on these beliefs, or belief buckets. There might be multiple beliefs in each one, but work on these 3 specific buckets of beliefs, and that is what's going to help you flip your life up the other way. Drop a like, subscribe and comment if this resonated. I'm a really small new channel, and I would absolutely love your help in growing it so that these can reach more people. If you'd like a private reading, the link is down below at the top of the description, and we can go through and work out your exact beliefs that you need to work on, if that's what will help you. I'm Karen from Soul Driven Tarot, and I'll see you in the next pile or the next video.